94.7.
And we have liftoff, ladies and gents.
Yo.
You're good, Ken?
Welcome one. Welcome all. Hey.
I just want to be a
welcome one.
guest.
Welcome all. Are we
Okay.
officially?
Yeah.
Okay.
We never keep those, do we?
We don't. I mean, we do, but we kind of don't. Welcome one. Welcome all.
Like that?
Episode 3 of
Yeah, we haven't thought of a name for this yet.
None of Our Business. I want to use None of Our Business.
Oh, right. I
wanted
keep
to.
acting like Joe hasn't made name suggestions. It's probably getting on his last nerve.
I made a poster.
Like,
for it.
yo.
You made a None of Our Business poster?
Yeah, it's already in my head. I just gotta.
Let's see what let's rewind here. Welcome one, welcome all. This is episode 3 of None of Our Business, starring Philip Michael and Joe
Castellanos.
El Guapo.
Oh, God.
Castellanos.
Where's our sound effect machine?
We want to welcome Cianan Duncan, K9, Cianan Duncan.
Hi, guys. How's it going? Did somebody invite Mr. Hanky to the party?
That's what it sounded like. God damn.
You're going to get a lawsuit right away on the 3rd episode for infringement.
At least we can meet Matt Stone and Trey Parker and Dan Harmon and Justin Rowland for stupid
Even if we
shit.
meet in court.
across the table.
At least we met him.
That means that's how popular you guys get.
It's
Like,
so we're
us.
playing Soul Calibur, but is it a 3-player game? No. Huh?
No.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
I don't think they ever.
That's
came
why
out
we
with
need to
the
play
three.
Dynasty Warriors, no matter how whack
That's
it
a
is.
3-player game.
At least it's like a hack and slash. All of us can
Alienation.
play.
Alienation is a
that's
great
the
game
shit.
too.
Oh,
No
fuck.
customization, but you can do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I have my broke ass controller in my car.
Well, I mean, obviously we won't get to it today, but you know.
No, yeah, because your
'Cause-
voice is really soothing. I can listen to Joe. Your voice was not like this. in
What
the
are you
first two
talking about?
episodes.
Yeah, it was.
You did this voice because you knew something was up, something was going on, and he's doing this
Shut
like
your
sexy
ass up.
ass
That
voice.
is-
You mean a voice like this?
Yeah.
I can't even do that. How do I get my voice that deep?
So
I
say so.
need
Can you
to be
do this?
blacker.
Ooh. Can you like hootie? Like ooh. No.
Oh.
Ooh. I think more like you're yawning. How do you yawn? Do you when Keenan yawns?
It's just like
That didn't go at all as I hoped
he
it
yawns
would.
like a kitten. He's fucking
Kenan, why are you purring? What are you doing?
Keenan's like Snaaarfff.
from Tom and Jerry. He's like he stretches, lifts his ass up when he does it.
I guess you got into bleaching or so at some point in the trend.
Kenan, wow, yeah.
Keenan
You
Snaaarfff.
start.
Dude, you guys got me crying already. I can't even
No,
play straight. How am I gonna play if I can't even see? I can't see right now.
I
Oh
can't
my
see
God.
without my glasses.
Man,
crap.
today is Black Friday.
Happy
What's
Thanksgiving to
today's
everybody out
date?
there.
The 23rd,
November
right?
23rd?
Yeah,
No,
23.
because the 26th
Oh.
is the end of the Black Friday sale.
Yo, today's the 23rd, so shut up.
Damn, what's wrong with me? So Black Friday is going on for another 3 days.
Yeah, it's,
Holy fuck. I
Sony
really did-
has.
I can't. I must have shouldn't have rubbed
Keenan's
my eyes
out of
'cause I'm
commission
out.
already.
He had fecal matter on his fingers, and then he rubbed his fingers. He's like, "Whoa, what's going on? I don't know how this happened." Like he went to the restroom, took a piss, didn't wash his hands, and then he rubbed his eyes, and he's like, "Why is this happening to me?"
Why do I
Like
get
hygiene, my guy. Hygiene.
Why did I get pink eye
God,
on
you gotta-
Black
you gotta
Friday?
hold the controller, man. I need water. Okay, I'm gonna step out for like 2 seconds. This ain't functional.
Of course, it's
of course it
functional.
is.
You have
Man.
to guide me because I can't see.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Just push the mic arm to the side. Watch the cable.
Oh, you can do that. Yeah, just be careful. There you go. Hey, sliding.
And we've got liftoff.
Hey.
There's napkins in the cabinet above you.
So
So that didn't work out.
welcome one, welcome all this week.
That was just the intro.
Yeah, that was just the intro.
Just put the tip in.
It's gonna be a hot episode. I already feel it. It's gonna be incredibly hot. So yeah, hopefully
We just put the tip in, Keenan.
Hey, you got all night long, player.
You literally put the tip in and you're already all wet. What is this, Friday night, you said?
It's Friday night. So hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. You know, was able to enjoy themselves, and yeah, it was an excellent one for us.
Keenan's gonna be back in a few.
Enjoyed it. Once he hops back in, I'm gonna ask him about his Thanksgiving and how that went.
Right, yeah, Thanksgiving.
You know. We'll get to sexcapades, Philly. We'll get to sexcapades.
So that's like a whole segment.
Well,
Sexcapades.
I have something to tell you about me and Joe and our sexcapades. But
hey,
what did you want to talk about now?
No, just wanted to ask. I wanted to ask how your Thanksgiving went. You know,
it went.
What you did.
It went so.
The day of Indigenous people killing.
It went so well.
Yeah.
We celebrated a lot of white culture.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
Their oppression of the United States and how it came to be. It was great.
There was turkey involved, right?
No, just white people.
Oh, y'all had grits and shit.
No, we had a very.
Like, no, this was a more refined, more
we had
Anglo-American.
Yeah, we had some kale. We had some.
No, you didn't.
Don't tell me there was kale on Thanksgiving.
No, never kale.
Okay.
It's more. It was a very household ethnic food, but generic stuff. So green beans.
Okay.
Mashed taters.
Okay.
Gravy.
Okay.
Yeah, chicken.
Oh,
okay.
Also,
turkey.
Disclaimer: the sound effects in the background are the actual Soul Calibur game that we're playing. So.
Yeah, so if you hear women moaning, that's just Keenan.
Like if you hear that's just Keenan yawning.
I was gonna say, now you beat me to it.
I stole your joke. Sorry.
That's great. Joe had the best one on my ass in there. Oh my god. See that, and that's what my Thanksgiving was.
Oh, was it? Your ass?
You had your ass in the air for Thanksgiving? Oh no!
Out of context, fellas. Out of context. No,
it's actually Keenan wasn't lying. It is look like it's gonna be a little bit hard to fucking game while we're fucking.
Wow, ridiculous!
This is the episode where I take over your show.
Yeah,
and I can talk all
That's
I want.
All we need. That's
and
all we need.
Nobody can stop me.
Oh
shit! Free
shit!
Press. No, the Thanksgiving I had at my family's house was basically open mic night, comic one night stand, 30-minute special type shit. Because I was on a roll with my jokes, my brother was on a roll with his jokes, and we watch a lot of comedy, and we're not comedians.
Ooh, perfect.
Sorry, I can't do this.
This is great. He's talking.
Yeah.
So thinking my loss is personal.
Y'all were on fire. Y'all were on fire.
It was so funny. Like jokes like the one Joe made, we were all doing to each other, and on the general sense of what's happening in the world, we were laughing from the moment we all sat down eating to the moment we all left at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Just joke after joke after intellectual talk, amongst our family and stuff like that. But I had a great one. So Philly knows a dude named, can we say names on this podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just when it comes to sexcapades, we might want to keep it vague or
okay.
Exactly.
This Cassandra. No.
exactly. Okay, so
where my money? No, it's Thomas.
Yeah.
So the best joke I had that had everybody on the floor. Thomas is this very buff football looking player, dude. He works out all the time. And the question that was asked to him by my mother's husband at the time, his name is Joe as well, he asked him if he knew how to swim. And because the whole topic was on swimming and black people swimming, he said he does know how to swim. But my real joke was that Thomas just naturally floats because he has all those muscles.
His shit is already like
he doesn't have one. So everybody was on the floor. Everybody was laughing and crying, and Thomas was like, everybody had like tears and that. It was great. It was great. I as funny as people say that I am, I knew for sure that moment that I had something that was like, oh yeah, damn, maybe I should make a pathway into like comedic writing,
comedy,
or something like, because I was just on fire. And you can see the comment that he left. My phone's way over there, but he left a good comment towards me, my family.
Like, we're
funny. We were like, you and your brother and your family were so funny. We had a great time, enjoyed ourselves. But this is also your podcast, so why don't you say
No,
something?
we were asking about your story. No,
okay.
we're glad you were sharing it.
So you basically discovered that you could potentially be
funny
a comedian
at some point in time
on
You have
Thanksgiving.
some comedic chops.
Well, the what I have that I guess with my skill is that I'm easy to catch on to something and then add on.
You're
to
witty.
something.
It's called
Like,
being witty.
Whatever
I
the
guess you weren't
definition-
that good.
Well, I guess I have a joke. There's the mollusk and a walrus. And, well, no, actually, it wasn't a mollusk. It
I
was a
have no
walrus.
jokes whatsoever. Who was Joe? There was there was at least two characters. that was
Maxie,
pretty
I think you
decent.
were using Maxie at one point.
And there was a female that was pretty decent at too. Was it Ivy?
No, I don't think it was
I don't
Ivy.
think no, it wasn't her.
Nah, that character Ivy, she looks like Ruby Rose, man. So hot. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, okay.
Ruby Rose?
The actress.
Hey man, I'm picking it up. Hey,
it was.
I'm catching
I
it. I'm accepting it.
You picking up what I'm putting
embracing
down?
what you're putting down.
Mm.
All right.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know.
You don't know Ruby Rose?
Who are these women?
Have you seen John Wick 2?
What's a women?
He said, "What's a woman?"
What's a woman?
What are these women?
what
We're
do
gonna
they
get
look
to that.
like?
We're gonna get to that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We'll get to that portion of the show.
Cassandra. I did not see John Wick, but I know I heard the name Ruby Rose before.
She's gonna
Yeah,
be Batgirl, right?
she's the new Batwoman.
Yeah, Batwoman.
But also she was in Orange Is the New Black.
I think I've seen her in that. I don't
She's
know.
been in a couple things. Not a lot of speaking roles that I can think of, but she's definitely been in some stuff. She's I think she was 2016's It Girl. Like everybody wanted to talk about Ruby Rose, or I don't know. But yeah, she's basically Philip thinks that Ivy is very looks very similar to Ruby Rose. But I think Ivy was around longer, much longer before Ruby Rose came into play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, Ivy was been around
Yeah, since like fucking
90s, late 90s. When was the first Soul Calibur? It was 99, right? Or 98?
No, the first Soul Calibur was actually a game called Soul Edge, and that was in like 1996.
96.
But she wasn't in it. She wasn't in it yet. I don't think Ivy came into play until maybe Soul Calibur or Soul Calibur 2. I want to say it might have been like Soul Calibur 2. Or maybe not. I can't remember. I think she's Cervantes' daughter.
Oh, for
if I
real?
recall,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
But yeah, she's dope. She's
Wait, what
definitely
am I
a staple
I don't know what I'm
of
doing.
this game.
I'm doing stupid shit.
It's kind of
Definitely
hard
a
to
staple of this
play
game.
and have a
No, but see,
conversation.
this is what we needed. Remember, we had
That's
a
true.
conversation that it works with two if we have three
Two,
people
yeah.
because the third person
Can talk.
who is a spectator can actually continue to talk
Yeah,
about the whole
yeah.
situation. Yeah.
And then we don't have to
But-
listen to any of
No,
the
I mean
BS.
you guys respond. Yeah, no, you guys respond, but you don't have to be as a
You know what? It makes sense though because now people get to watch the transformation of the show as it's
Exactly.
happening.
as it's happening, which is a wonderful thing.
I don't
Super
even know.
wonderful.
I think I'm doing that all wrong.
You know what it is, Keenan?
What?
Is you chose the wrong character.
I did. I chose. And you're doing this Joe bullshit, knocking me on the ground all the
Fuck
fucking
you.
time. Whatever that crap is.
Oh.
Hey,
Did I
got
connect with
him. Okay,
was that
so
gonna be a ring out?
no, it won't be. I don't think a super does a ring out.
Damn,
I
look
wanna
at
see
her
it
though.
did.
Damn, she's
I
got
know.
such a
Yeah.
great body. I think I'm fainting, man. The girl I was seeing left town, and I'm over here like
What?
for a while.
Are we
yeah.
talking
no,
about
we're
that?
Not
No,
going to
okay.
We're definitely not
No,
talking about
But
that.
you can thank me later.
I always have thanked you. What do you mean? I've thanked you? I think a few times.
Yeah, but I like
Plenty of
teasing about
times.
that. Yeah. I
He was
do
like-
it to Joe all the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he stuffs it in my face every time he
I-
talks about the job.
Yeah, I do.
He's like, "You're welcome for getting you that job."
Yeah. This is especially
Like, you
now
didn't
he's
get it
CEO.
from me. I interviewed for it, but thank you for getting my foot in the door.
Yeah.
Keenan's like, yeah.
I'm his master and creator. I open the doors
He
for him.
he
I remember
he
those
tears up
days,
every
though.
time he sees me.
When you do successful at that company, I tear up like
Shut up!
motherfucker.
Shut up!
That could have been me. But I left like a bitch, so
No,
I
it
walked
was-
out like a puss.
I don't think it was. No,
I was like a
I
12-year-old
think
teenager.
no. You stood up for yourself. That's all it was. That's all it was.
yeah. So anyway, Thanksgiving. Was it Thanksgiving? No. About when we talk about our sexual escapades. What happened?
You
on-
want to get to that portion?
Wait, is that's just that's something between me and Joe. Right.
Sexual
Sexcapades?
escapades in Thanksgiving? Something happened for Thanksgiving for you?
Well, this was a week before Thanksgiving.
Something happened for you.
Wait, was it? When was last weekend when I was over?
When it was Sunday.
Actually, something did happen to me.
Really?
And it was the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah. But that's a different segment, right?
No,
Is it a sexcapade? Sexcapade?
I'm hoping it will be.
Oh, well then let's hear it. Hey man, well, I'm all for it.
I've met one of these so-called women. That's what they're called. Women's. Yeah,
okay, I've heard things. I've heard tall tales.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
I've only read about them in books.
Long leather-bound books.
Yeah.
Thick.
I don't know what they look like. But I saw one in real life.
Thicker than a penis.
Sounds pretty suspect. Wait, what?
Okay, so let's talk about this.
Never mind that. What are the other do you actually have broken down your segments?
No, we don't.
It's pretty freestyle.
Okay,
it's pretty freestyle. We've noticed that we usually get into the sex
almost right away,
almost immediately.
But I mean, that kind of mirrors life.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you see an opening,
you just went
we
are
a friend.
No, nobody. No, okay.
We are a friend to the LGBT community. Just want to clarify that.
I love that announcement. He did that in the first episode when he made an announcement about how you're like equal opportunity to all black people. That was hilarious. But no, before we get into that, one thing I do have to say that I'm making an announcement officially here on the None of Our Business podcast with Philly and Joe is that I am really appreciative of what you guys are doing here, because this is like I'm gonna glorify you right now because I'm not gonna do it later on in life. But it's super awesome that you guys are doing this creative element. Like, it doesn't even have to be posted. The fact that you guys are actually just doing it is super awesome. It's like the moment you gave me the opportunity to come over here, didn't I hop on over here in like less than 20 minutes?
I'm getting slaughtered.
But you got here pretty fast.
I got fast because when I first
tell us your route.
My route
to get here.
Are you trying to change the subject?
I'm just trying to make sure that we understand.
Because
you were like, it's gonna take me forever. You're further than you.
Well, he was trying to make it seem like he was like, I was over here right away.
When I checked my Google Maps, shout out to Google. I live in a town called Awesomeville over on the other side of the Hollywood Hills, but I'm further east. So if anybody knows where Woodland Hills of the Valley is, or Tarzana is the official area,
in Los Angeles County.
In Los Angeles County, I'm in the county of Los Angeles, right behind the Hollywood sign, and you take a left for about 10 miles. But plus 10 miles after that, I took if anybody's local, I took the 101 from my place all the way until it turns into the 134 behind Glendale, past the 2 freeway, and then got off at Figueroa North, whatever it's called, and then took that all the way down because you're on
Figueroa. Yeah.
Okay, can we announce where you're?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Because when this blows up, it goes popular.
Nobody's gonna know my address, but I'm on Figueroa.
Address,
I'm giving you directions.
But they're not gonna find it.
I'm in Highland Park, off Figueroa.
There you go, people.
Lost. Pisses me off a little bit, actually. I lost. I'm a sore loser. But you know what I say? You know what I say? I say, no. I'm not going to say what you think. People think I'm going to say, you know what? Not my chat, not my problem. That's what I say. But the truth is, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, you show me a happy loser, and I'll show you a real loser.
What's on your chin?
Okay.
No.
Wait, I like that. You show me a happy loser, and I'll show you
a real loser.
Okay,
because you're the loser if you're laughing.
Well, no, because look. To lose, it's going to happen, whatever, but that doesn't mean you should be happy about it. Or it doesn't mean you should be all upset and forget everything in life. But to show that you're a happy loser means you happily lost, means you didn't try, means you don't consider the effort you made, where it's something that was like worth reflecting on and saying, but I gave it all I had. You know what I mean?
You should have won.
So if you're not happy, like you're like, okay, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to try and become harder next time.
But isn't it just good sportsmanship? If you're...
Oh, yeah, it's good sportsmanship, but don't be a happy loser. Don't be a happy loser.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind that. Because we've given it our all in some of these battles.
I know.
And we just laugh it off like, damn.
It's just a game. It's not life, though. It's not real.
Right. But I'm not happy about it. I'm not sitting there like, you know what? I hope I lose again.
I know. He wants to kill you.
Fuck this shit.
I've got sportsmanship, but I don't think sportsmanship automatically means that you want to admit defeat right away.
Right.
Damn.
It's competitive. You know what I mean? And so look, the way I'm looking at it now is what I think is ironic is when you guys were out there doing your thing and like there was something else, like there wasn't this much focus on the game. But the minute it turned to you guys, all of a sudden there's nothing but focus on the fucking game.
That's true.
I don't know.
I have no idea what you just said.
Now you know what I mean. Now you know what I mean.
It's like,
That was the most bitter laugh. That was the most bitter laugh I've ever heard Cianan have. He was like,
he's like, fuck this.
Fuck all of this.
That's just Joe kicking my ass.
So what I want to hear what happened the day.
Oh yeah, Cianan, go ahead. Tell us, Cianan, right in the middle of your game.
Well,
I know. Let's see if you can. This is part of the test.
This is the training.
And if I win, I'm not gonna win though. Because I'm pressing some random ass buttons trying to counter your ass.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm trying to be fancy with it.
Okay, so it's like that show, Hot Ones, where they eat the hot wings and it gets progressive.
I love that show.
So this show is similar, where it's like you're getting your ass beat and you're trying to like not lose your cool the whole time because it shows your character. You know, I'm a sore loser. I know it.
This is your part. That's your specialty.
The only difference is
not ring me out, you motherfucker.
Okay, now you can tell us about your story.
Okay,
wow. Okay, look. The only problem with this is that unless people watch it, they won't understand the stakes.
That's why you always gotta film it.
That's
just like Hot Ones and
we'll eventually, like I said,
you know what? We can put something here that you know what I mean.
Like I said, we'll eventually start recording video. We still have to establish ourselves really like.
Well, that's how I get started because then, you know, a lot of those other podcasts were just straight podcasts, like maybe Bill Burr. I don't think Bill Burr started. Bill Burr still doesn't film his shit. It's all straight.
But it's also Bill Burr has a brand, so like people know him. So they can just picture his face when he's talking shit.
It's just him.
He's like, I don't know.
People.
I don't know. Women, they think they've got the hardest lives. That's like Bill Burr all the way. You know, I'm not
killed it at the forum.
But he's one of my favorites. Yeah. What's my favorite joke? I think is like when they're like, he's on ABC morning news or something, and they're like, don't you think you went a little too far on the Catholic jokes? He's like, don't you think the Catholics went a little too far? Yeah. To this day, that shit is just like, because he always critiques other comedians and goes, how could comedians be talked off the show, like their own show when they're comedians, you know? And it's true.
You need to ask Joe a question so he's distracted.
Oh, you can ask me whatever you want, but that's not what we were getting into.
No, I know.
We were going to get into your night before Thursday show.
So Cianan, so it got hot and steamy, huh?
Hot and steamy.
Oh, you're hoping
it
gets
on these mics, or I'm not supposed
I mean, you just did. So I mean, nothing we can do about that.
Like you're not.
That's like
breathing
touching
heavily into
a tit and then going, "Am I allowed to touch your tit?"
Oh, he doesn't ask. He just does it.
Well, you know, they do say, you know, ask for forgiveness instead of permission. But I think some people have taken that way too far.
All right.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. So this has been a long time in the making, but it's been something that's been pursuing over many years.
Okay.
So before my previous ex,
now let's just make sure you don't have to say any names.
No, I'm not gonna.
You know,
but Joe knows this person, so or he's met this person, so I'm gonna keep it blank. If I do say a name, you can just go back and edit it out and just go blurp it for some. You got technology. So this person I met works not too far from where I used to work, a few blocks away, and I would pick up some material from that place. Turns out she is the daughter of the owner, and she helps run the spot.
Really?
Like that. You might know this person.
That's crazy.
Super hot Latina, really into Latinas. So if there's any Latinas watching this, I am a 6 foot light skinned Latina.
He's like Will Smith light.
I'm like
Will Smith that can build things. Imagine like a Tim Allen meets Will Smith, and that's Cianan.
No, so when I first met her, and I actually met her before my girlfriend that I had a while ago. And as the moment I saw her, I was like, I'm going to put a baby in you. And that's just going to be it. But that was just all in my head, you know?
Yeah.
But I did a talk to her.
So you didn't actually tell her you...
I did just put a baby
in her.
But I should have.
I didn't ask for the baby, but it was implied.
It was
my intention.
So you want to be the baby's daddy? Okay.
Yeah. Which is very rare for a lot of guys, right? To be to want to
right away, right away. You were like, I want my kids in and out of your mouth. Wait, what kind of babies are we talking about?
Those some interesting babies. No, because I mean, she's running this business with her father, so she has some business sense. She's intellectual and she knows her stuff, and she's working, and
right,
trying to
right.
help this thing get along. And on top of that, she's super hot, super Latina, and from the streets and all that stuff, and not very wealthy. And I like, it's really cool. So basically, and I met her. So this must have been 2010 or 2011. It was my first time working at this company, and every so often I would buy stuff from her, which is very creepy and weird, but it was still legit because they have the cheapest prices in Los Angeles.
Oh, so
I would tell you the name of the place, but then I'll give away the story and who the person is. So so I would go and buy material from them, and then she would always have a boyfriend or something like that. So every so often over the years, this is over a span of years. So 2010 till 2018, which is 8-year span. Every 2 or 3 years, when I pop in, I ask, hey, you want to go out? I actually ask her to go out. Literally, is one of the rare people that
Over
actually
2 or 3
say,
years,
yeah, do you want to go out and have a drink and have coffee? Do you want to get lunch? Something like that. Always a no, always a maybe or something like that. And then eventually there was one moment where she was single, and she was going out with her girlfriends and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, let's meet up and do that. And she actually agreed to do it. I thought I exchanged numbers at the time, and maybe we did, but I can't remember. But I went back recently, the day before.
Okay.
And this time I was very pertinent, to get something out of this long, ongoing, one-sided relationship. And eventually I did something that I rarely don't do, which is I actually asked about our historical. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys are having a silent battle in the background.
But your story's about to get good.
It's like when you're trying to fuck in the families in the other room or something like that.
Story for a second. Let's hear the rest of the story for a second.
Here,
because the numbers are wrong.
Okay, but yeah, continue.
I also stole that one from Joe. That's the problem.
So anyway, this particular day that I went, I called beforehand to see if they had the material. I went, not expecting her to be there, and she answered the phone. I didn't give away who I was or say anything because I just
she heard your voice, your sweet voice.
And she said and when I developed a conversation with her that when I was there, she said, "Oh, I knew who that was." And it's been a long time since we saw each other, maybe like a couple years or so. But when I walk in, still super hot, and tried to keep my composure to be like super cool guy. I smell like ass, like normal, as you guys know,
because you've been working.
No deodorant, hair's all messy and stuff like that. But this is one of those moments where I was like, maybe I have a little bit of game. I don't know what it is, but I went in and I started talking first about the business, and then about what we're going on in each other's lives and stuff like that. And then we had conversations about, birthdays and how old we are. So it turns out she's like same age as me. Birthday is 1 month before mine.
Hey.
And so
wait, so you're telling me she's older than you are?
Yeah, by a month. Yeah, I like me those old women. Yeah.
That's fucking.
Don't bust that nut just yet.
Okay, this is the time to practice that phone voice, player.
Yeah. What?
Yo, like,
little commercial.
I want to get in your ass.
I want to put baby in you.
I'll threaten the shit out of that.
Let's get to the good part.
Okay. So
I came up, macked her down, like, what's up?
I did. And this was the time where I didn't know what was going on. So she, I'm trying to make the long story short, but she agreed to go out with me for my birthday. It's not going to be during Miami.
Okay.
Whenever we do something. I know because they listened to it. And I was like,
for your birthday.
Birthday turn up.
But yeah. So that's gonna be super cool. Because the only problem is here again. She said she's with somebody, but not like she's seeing somebody. She didn't say have a boyfriend or anything like that.
She's just seeing someone.
So the
option is open.
But she was willing to take me out for birthday and exchange numbers.
Oh, she gave you her numbers.
She gave me her numbers.
Nice.
And she sent me a text right then and there, and I responded with a text back, and she liked So there's a few conversational stuff going on there.
You sent some memes to each other?
No, I sent Happy Thanksgiving, but I didn't get anything back from that, so I'm not sure if it's
should be like new phone. Who this?
Yeah, yeah, probably. But I'm just really proud of myself to pursue not pursue. That sounds
but you've made a consistent effort to try to
8 years
close
over
the deal.
Same person, which I'm not sure how a lot of women out there get this. One dude that's really in you for 8 years and still trying. No matter how old and ugly you get.
Once
again, we are very, very fond and
equal opportunity employers.
Movement. We're with you guys.
We have employee insurance.
But no, I mean, everybody gets old and unattractive at some point. But the point is how somebody would still be interested in someone over a span of a long period of time is still something to be.
You're trying to say she aged well.
Oh yeah, she aged really well. I mean, all jokes aside about getting old and whatever, she aged ridiculously well.
You have pretty high standards, so
I have somewhat high standards. I would say. I mean, there's a lot of
depends on time of day.
Because I always look at some women and go, "Damn," and then Joe be like, "What? What's wrong with you, Keenan?" I was like, I don't know.
Hey man, we each have our taste in the finer things.
It's like that's a dude.
I like my coffee. I like my coffee with 6 sugars. You like them with 4.
And I don't
like sugar on it too. Unless it's like a peppermint mocha. And, yeah,
peppermint mocha is pretty good.
Peppermint mochas are for homos.
Again,
I'll chime in on this. I have some gay friends
from
myself.
A time where it was fun to say that with your friend. Oh God, I put my foot in my mouth. You know what?
It's okay.
Know what?
We'll suck each other off later.
Yeah, just put it in my mouth already. That's all it is.
But the thing to take away from it is that I was very proud of me being that guy that can actually ask someone out on the spot.
Have the guts.
I'm getting better as more experience at asking.
You've grown.
Yeah, even though it's somebody I've known, they know me. I feel like I can take that to somebody who I meet at a bar and we have a conversation after like something or a coffee shop or somewhere where we meet, and then at the end of the conversation I go, "Hey, do you want to go out to something a bit later in the week or something?" And we get lead it into that. I don't have to be all super weird and nervous about it. But it was just awesome that it was somebody I was interested in for the longest time that gave me their number, agreed to go out on a date, even treat me on my birthday, and have a potential of hopefully breaking up with the douches.
Is it really a date though? If
it's probably not. It's probably pity. It's probably like
you can't say it's pity either. But I mean, there's an interest.
But you do have the opportunity to sweep her off her feet with the right broom.
Yes, and my penis as well. It's not the size of Spike,
with yours it's probably a broom. You know what I mean? You are 6 foot tall,
long and skinny.
Will Smith meets
bristles.
Tim
my
Allen.
pubic hair, the bristles.
It's like a Brillo broom.
It's like an SOS pad.
You forgot to shave that week.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Just scrub the sink real quick while you're at it. What are those ass cheeks?
Oh,
where are those ass cheeks? They're right there to the right.
Right next to the nicely clean table.
Wonderful. That reminds me of those porns that have the maid. You know where they get
the Soul Calibur character?
No.
What are you talking about? The girl that you saw?
Yeah.
Ass cheeks next to the table.
Yeah. I've done that.
Those porns.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I'm your nude maid, and I will clean your house. He's like, how about for these extra $200? You do
you
a
watch
little more
those?
than cleaning.
Damn, we are friends, man. I've seen those too.
We do a little more than cleaning.
And I always go after the Latin maids. They're always Latin maids. I don't know why.
My boss.
Well, you did say you like Latinas.
I do, so heavily. I don't know what that is. Why is that?
The fiery passion. Do you like them to not agree with you or to agree with you?
I don't like the fiery passion. Can get kind of crazy
because you've been a part of that. How long did you date your ex? I can't remember. Like 2. Yeah, it was like I felt like 3 years, but
it did feel a little bit longer.
You know, it did, right? But yeah, you know, that was a crazy one. That was a crazy one. I mean, not that she was crazy, but you know,
we're talking about the battle here.
Well, she was different, but she had. I told people there was about I would say on the real when we're with ourselves, 80 to like 85% was all super awesome. We clicked really well. Everything was great. It's just that last 10% that was really important to her that wasn't that important to me, and that's what caused the issue.
Well, see, I feel like relationships are definitely worth compromises.
Yes,
and I think if you weren't ready for what she needed, there should have been a compromise.
I totally was.
It's like
because I went to a lot of the things she was into.
Oh, yeah.
And
no, but what? Because there, well, yeah. No,
what are you trying to say?
Right. Well, what I'm trying to say is there should always be compromises. So
there should. I agree.
If one person isn't ready to take whatever step is requested by their partner, there should at least be a compromise and say, okay, so when do you think you'll be ready, or is this a possibility? At least find a middle ground, a compromise, and I just don't think a relationship should be ended over something.
I completely agree, and I've met a lot of people who feel like who would say no, you shouldn't compromise. That you should get, or you should be like, this is what I want, and if you're not with that, then we shouldn't be together. And it's like,
no,
really?
See, but that's dumb.
I've met people like that.
We're still young.
I know. I met a lot of people who are like that, and really
even if you're in your 30s, like you shouldn't think like your time is over and you have to, because there are people out there that are having kids in their 50s,
Yeah.
And it's just 30, you're still young. I mean, maybe
agree.
back in the fucking 40s, when you had to have a fucking marriage by 18, or sometimes even younger.
Kids,
but we don't live in that time anymore.
Yeah.
We don't, and it is true. I mean, you shouldn't give up without at least communicating what bothered you to see if they're willing to change it. And if it's not something that they're willing to like look after and say, you know what, that is unnecessary, maybe I can get over that. Unless they're willing to say that, then maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't going to work, because it works until it doesn't, right?
Well, there's some people that are super passionate. There's one thing like religion. If you're not on the same religion scale, a lot of people are like, no,
religion is tough.
Work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Religion is tough.
That's one of the few where you can't really. It's harder to compromise because that's a forever thing,
and that's kind of one of the things with me and my ex. Kind of dealt with that sort of style. It was like like
if I'm a devil worshiper, like that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do.
Or if you're part of Scientology or something like that or whatnot, Freemasons.
That's what it is. It's true.
Yeah. No, it's true.
But
religion is one of the few things that.
But why should that be
almost?
Why should it be accepted?
It should.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying it's one of the it's incredibly I want to say it's taboo because it's so sensitive. It's such a touchy issue.
Yeah.
That
But why is that? Why is it so touchy with everybody? It's so weird. Why? How did that come
Because
about?
it challenges everything you believe in existence. But everything you think is right and everything you think is wrong.
But that could be the same thing as like if I don't know something. I would say if something crazy like the sky all of a sudden turned green, wouldn't that be a little bit more of a crazy like
paradigm shift? Like now your your belief is challenged.
Like a real belief is challenged. Like, oh, I thought it was blue, now it's green.
You know what it is, Cianan? People are afraid.
Yeah.
And people choose one thing, and that helps them control the rest of the. It's important to the stability of one's life to choose one thing and say, this thing does not change. This thing is immovable. And from there, I can build my life around it. And the minute it's uplifted,
that's
chaos is all they know. Yeah. And so for some people more like us, we're a little more liberal about it and loose, not liberal politically. I mean, like we're a little looser about what we like. Our beliefs, we're open to being proven wrong.
Well, we've also been given certain knowledges that over our period of time that has been challenging our initial thoughts. As a kid, like a lot of stuff was brewed as children.
Yeah.
To go back real quickly to Bill Burr that we spoke about. Bill Burr had a ridiculously awesome statement or comment on one of his specials that I think I showed you and I showed my brother about how a lot of the religious stuff was taught to us as kids. And as kids, we believed in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, all that shit. And at some point, that stuff would fade away. You would get introduced to the real world and stuff like that. And the same thing with religion, except you don't get introduced to the real world. That keeps going and going after you're introduced to it. at a very young age. For a mass majority, there are people out there who find these religions as an adult, but that's nothing in comparison to the mass who are already there as children or babies are born into it, who know nothing but that. And I forgot how the rest of his comedic joke statement, but it was a really hilarious statement about understanding and knowing that what you were taught to believe in sticks with you really wholeheartedly as children, and they know it does that, which is why they teach you as kids and not as adults, because they know you're more susceptible to believing in that without questioning it. Kids don't really question the weird stuff we see. They'll you know, you pretend that they're talking to some invisible man and they'll keep going with it, you know, for as long as they want.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Religion and children. I mean, I was put in a corner to force to study.
Don't put Philly in a corner.
I was forced to study Catholicism in Spanish in a corner most of my childhood. Probably from fear that my father wasn't going to be around for me.
So you needed some guidance.
So he was hoping, he's probably like, this is going to be harsh, but it's necessary.
Does it really work?
Like teaching, like any parent? No, I don't remember a damn thing. All I remember was someone had a brother who had a sister who had a brother who had a sister, and thou shalt not kill.
God damn.
That's all I remember, and I think the animals and everyone had to be saved at some point from God's wrath.
Brother and then two brothers and a sister fought together.
Jerry Springer came in with a knife.
A sacrifice. Thou shalt not kill.
Somewhere along the way, there was a virgin birth.
Yeah. It was a virgin birth.
How did that work?
But I have virgin births all the time. Like every time I develop a fucking song or I develop...
that's a virgin birth?
Well, because it was first born in the mind and then somehow it was born without sex. And it was like, artists do it every day. Artists do it every day, if you want to put it like that. But people taking that shit literal.
Well, is there anything,
like it's a history book?
Is there anything on this planet that can be born without fucking anything?
Here's the ironic part: is you can find the concept, the abstract concept of gender can be found literally everywhere in nature. Think of the audio equipment we use. There's male and female.
Oh yeah, but that's a human interaction that created that. We're humans. We create that.
Okay,
so we're gonna do.
Let's look at nature, right?
Like plants.
Pollinization.
Yeah. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look, there is some concept.
Everybody does fuck.
And even if you lay eggs, somebody has to lay down the semen for that to go into something.
Yeah, and even look at the idea of prayer, right? You're hoping that the seed you're putting out there gets stimulated and pollinated by the power of God to create something in this world
that you need.
Yeah,
that's the concept of gender interacting with gender.
Yeah.
So in a way, even praying to God is an act of sex.
Hey. Oh, Philly dropping some fucking knowledge. God damn.
I mean, that's just, it's a metaphor. It's probably blasphemy for some people, but that's really what it is. Something is being stimulated by something else and hopes to create something, and the gestation period may not be known. It might take 9 months. It might take 2 weeks. It might take 1 day. But who knows? But that's technically the concept that people are rolling on. And this game is intense. So like the thing is, people who are listening aren't going to understand how savagely beaten you are on this video game.
No, that was a close one. That was a close one.
Maybe if you don't even show us in the video, but you show what we're playing and then just the sound of our voice and actually see us might work. And like, it's just, what video games have been running the women movement for a long time, because there's been strong female characters in video games long before anywhere else.
Oh yeah,
like some characters,
but they've also been objectified.
They've clearly been objectified, even though they are powerful.
Perfect example of that, Lara Croft.
Well, some of the later, but the very first one, the pictures. That's a little history about it. It turns out when it was originally created, she wasn't meant to have
a midriff
or big boobs or anything. The original creator did not meant to have Lara Croft to look the way she was.
And then some studio exec was like, "What are you doing? We're gonna need some ass and some tits and a midriff and Christina Aguilera."
So the most recent one is the one that there was the way she's kind of supposed to look like.
Oh, okay.
Like Laura Vikander.
Less sexualized.
I think Vikander is her last name. I think. Man, she's beautiful, gorgeous woman, powerful.
I lost this one big time. I knew it.
I could tell how into it what you guys were because the conversation just stopped. That's just what it was, you know. But the holidays are an interesting time because it's funny. Every holiday, all of my siblings hit me up and they're like, "Hey, are you gonna spend this one alone too?"
And I told you didn't have to because you can come to my family.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Everyone that loves me always hits me up. They're like, "Hey, Philip tends to be alone around this time." Does
that push you back when everybody says to come to us?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't trouble me. I always feel like I just think people care more about the holidays than I do. Or is it that people care more about me than I think I know?
No, it's probably the holidays. Like, how often do they ask you to come over without the holidays? And there's your answer. I mean, it's kind of like the same.
Facts.
It's kind of like when I moved to New York. Suddenly, a lot of people that never wanted to see me were suddenly all about it. And hey, how are you? I'll see you when I go out there. And blah, blah, blah.
Wow, I promised to contact you when you went to New York.
But Keenan, with you, it's different. Keenan, you were going through your own life. Like you still called me all the time.
I was going through some rough times. Hey, there it is. I got it.
Hey, you did.
You just discovered your days
of sadness.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Go ahead.
Oh shit!
Come on, Keenan. Don't be afraid of your power, Keenan.
If it's unleashed, I don't know what will happen to this world.
Keenan's gonna go from Urkel to Stefan.
He's like, fuck you.
Keenan, unleash it.
Unleash the beast.
Release the Kraken.
Oh man,
people don't understand. Keenan had a breakthrough right now, and now he's afraid of his own power.
With great power comes great responsibility, Philly. I got to make sure I handle that on my own. But yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, and Christmas is coming up. So if you guys don't bring me on here for anything Christmas celebratory stuff, please let me know about that. Maybe I should commentary on the
there was parry to parry to parry.
That was amazing. We did like 6 parries.
That's awesome.
Holy shit.
There was a triple parry, ladies and gentlemen, in this Soul Calibur 6.
Soul Calibur
6 or 7? It's 6. No, 5. It's 6. I don't fucking know what number it is.
It's 6.
Oh shit. No, he uses power. That's my character.
Ah, jeez, that's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Philly is using my favorite character in the game. That's badass.
Wow, that was intense.
The new characters of the Soul Calibur series.
Huh?
New character. Yeah.
You got a perfect on me.
Damn, Philly. That's nice.
It's because he savagely assaulted me in the last battle we had.
And the first,
it was.
He wants his payback from the very first battle.
There's this thing where Joe has been winning nonstop for like months. I think for years, actually. For years. To the point where like most of his coworkers don't even want to play, or like people who come over, they're just like
You play with your coworkers?
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, Keenan. We did.
No, that's fine. I know we have a podcast and I'm just like now watching.
Oh, God.
I'm not talking about anything anymore. I'm
all the real truths. Keenan's like, I didn't know you guys.
You weren't supposed to know about that.
It's supposed to be a confessional, right?
And I'm just learning about the rules. Yes, we talk about it. And
oh no, we don't. Well, all I know is that obviously no serious names on certain confrontations that you can get for people because they could be watched or listening to this. Yeah. I mean, okay? After this, what happens to the pod? Do you hold it in a storage or do you actually release it on some podcast channel?
Well, we are going to release it. I honestly,
are you gonna edit these out or not? Just have it full on the way through?
Joe wants it pretty much like, unless there's something outstanding that
it's kind of out there or some names have been dropped.
No, I don't think
even then. I mean, that's the thing. None of our business, right? So like we're talking about things that we have no business really talking about.
Let me pitch you my poster idea. So I have like 20 of them. But one of them is a picture of a tape, like one of those tapes that they record people in interrogation rooms or something like that. But it's like broken or it has like a bullet through it or something like that. And written on the tape it says none of your business, and like both your hands are on the table or whatever, and you're like in an interrogation room, but you guys don't care.
What have they done to you, Keenan?
That's very S&M-ish.
And they just take you and they strap you down.
See what you've done, society.
Yeah, hit us with the deep voice, kid. Hit us with the deep voice, kid.
He's like, we're in an interrogation room.
We are
can't do it
You got your hands on the table and just like,
we're in the boom
roughing it.
room.
Damn
Boom.
And you grin. You see.
And speaking of interrogation rooms, can we talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Oh my god!
Did he get arrested yet, or he's in jail? Or something
Yeah. Okay. So what just happened?
What did he do?
Okay. So the feds picked him up earlier this week.
But for what?
Racketeering and conspiracy for murder.
Oh well.
He's like,
I was like, conspiracy for murder.
Gang affiliation, racketeering.
Well, see, he said he's with the Crips, so
Bloods.
But if you're associated with,
here's the funny thing: a day or two prior to him being arrested, he was on
Do you guys mind if I make a little story on
he was
IG?
on the Breakfast Club, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on the Breakfast Club. Yes,
yeah.
He was on the Breakfast Clubs. Basically said, you know, I'm not gang affiliated. You know, I've denounced everyone and everything.
6ix9ine,
yeah,
right?
But see, that's like, well, then why were you admitting it in the beginning? Because you wanted to get popular.
So he did that, and then like 2 days later, they came and arrested him.
Yeah.
So, you know, people are saying that the feds had already tipped him and let him know
trying to get away.
that he was gonna. No. They let him know that they were gonna come for him. So that's why he was on the show saying, you know, I denounced everyone and everything.
Okay, yeah.
I have no affiliation with these people anymore. But my guy, you're too late. They probably already have all the information they need. Like, okay, he's trying to slip out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, pick him up.
You're always a badass until you get caught, and then now you're innocent.
Yeah. So they arrested him. I think it was Wednesday. And then was it Wednesday? I think it was. Anyway, so they arrested him and they kept him in general pop, and then just yesterday or today they transferred him to a federal holding facility. No, so I was reading that usually when you get transferred to this facility is because you're ready to cooperate with the authorities.
Oh, damn.
So basically, by them doing that is basically letting everyone know that he's a snitch.
Well, yeah, or
because if he's being transferred to where he cooperates, it's funny because his lawyer's saying that, oh, you know, this whole gangster persona was just something that he did so that he can make record sales, but he's not really this kind of individual. And it's like, man, like any credibility that this kid had as far as his tough guy persona is out the window now.
That's my favorite character.
Is absolutely out of the window.
Well, that's kind of proving that whole, because I agree with you on the sense that if anything, it would prove that in the beginning he was just pretending to be as hard as he says he was. It wasn't really initially. Which everybody was saying, like, you're kind of fake, and then
big fat phony.
Because now that you're into some real hard gangster shit, now you don't want to be a part of it anymore. Yeah. And that's like,
now it's a problem.
Right. What they called them back in the day, studio gangsters, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what NWA and all that stuff was about? So it's possible. I don't know a lot of the story, and I don't really know any of his music much myself or follow any of it. But the idea, I just know that there are people that are known to pretend to be hard until they do something hard, get caught, and face the hard consequences, and then all of a sudden now you don't want to be a part of it.
Right. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's why like a bunch of people have distanced themselves from him now because they know that he was trash. Absolute trash. That's not three. Absolute trash.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about this guy, I was in New York, and my buddy who works for the YouTube space, Travis, the professional, he like showed me the tracks, and I was like, I mean, I guess this guy's cool. He's like, no, you don't know, bro. He's gonna be hot. And I was like, and sure enough, he was. Him, Bad Bunny, all these dudes came out all around the same time. Oh no. What was the other guy's name? Extentacion. All these dudes, like.
Yeah. XXX.
It's just kind of hard for me to tell these artists apart these days, man. That's my only problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not saying I'm a better artist. I mean, nobody knows my shit, obviously, even if I make
That's because I keep telling you to put it out there and you don't do it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, where do you draw the line these days between, and it's not just the artist's fault either. it's the cultures and the people in those cultures that feed into it.
Exactly. Because if nobody listened to it,
the artist would be making some other shit. If everybody wanted to see people in Skittles bags and jumpsuits and fucking all that, like that's what artists would do.
We used to follow MC Hammer. I mean, come on, and all that stuff.
Basically, what Tekashi was, a fucking Skittle.
and like damn near one step removed. And
Starburst, more like
Starburst.
There was a time when gangster rap was all people wanted to hear, and now all we want to hear is people who are making money. Like we want to hear the unrealistic shit because the reality that we face is too hard. We have Instagram filters. Yeah. We have there's been Instagram filters since even before Instagram filters, man. Right. We've had filters for our lives forever, from whether it's alcohol consumption, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with drug use or substance abuse, whatever you want to do. What I'm saying is just know why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just know why you're doing it, because there are songs like Drive by Incubus to talk about the fear that sets in and the uncertainty of life and the future and what holds. And
that's some white boy shit.
It is, I know, but there are a lot. There's a lot of shit though, but there's truth to it. Like sometimes you're like, I don't know where my day is, but then there's also times to celebrate and drink at a celebration. Like, fuck it, we could die today if we.
This was doing tonight.
Hey, it's such a good day. My beer's empty.
All you drink. Okay, everybody who's listening to this, Joe and Philly do not have the drinks in their hands. They do not allow us to celebrate.
Well, I don't usually drink, but
when I do,
it is kind of. It's Bavarian style Heffenweisbier.
Yes, and it's the world's oldest brewery.
It's like the big caterpillar from A Bug's Life. You all look like little ants from here. Let me try that cucumber sour. Apparently,
me too. Joe has bought.
There you go.
This drink called cucumber sour from Tin Barrel Brewing Company. It is the name Crush. This is our product placement. This is how you guys get money, by the way.
Yeah, we're kind of giving them free marketing.
So from now on, we won't say what we drink, eat, touch.
It's fine to our 10 listeners.
But it ain't
we just first time caller, long time listener.
Keenan, I really want to hear that deep ass.
You like to answer some
that Barry voice, bro. You almost did it earlier. You almost did it earlier. You know what?
Get in the mode.
Yeah, Keenan. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Bumblebee. Come on, Keenan. Red leather, yellow leather. Come on. Unique New York.
What was that shit? I'm trying to think of fucking Anchorman.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Oh, that was great. And that was an outtake. Did they actually? They didn't use that in the real one, did they?
I think they just let the camera run and told Will Ferrell to do his fucking thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Cheers.
Yeah, which is what this is all about.
Cheers.
One
thing at a time, Keenan. Give us the deep voice. Open the.
I'm yawning over here. Come on, let me yawn real quick.
All right, salud. There we go. Down the hatch. Take a break. Moment of silence. We can't take Keenan anywhere, ladies and gents.
You can't take him anywhere. God damn it, Keenan.
Hey, this is actually pretty damn good.
It is. It's really.
It's like a soda and a beer at the same time.
Oh, at least I didn't get any on your floor or your.
It's all good.
It's all on me.
It all ended in the mouth.
I'm so nervous. I'm at your podcast. It's so awesome. I feel like I'm
You're like I'm a fucking star.
Yeah, and you guys are like super huge. You like your
Keenan, have you seen me, Keenan? Because I am super huge.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's talk about it.
Just give him something to talk about.
If you gonna talk about it, you gotta be about it, player. Show and tell.
Ooh, is that a promise? Truth or dare?
What's that sound you make? The little elephant sound.
Every time I unzip,
the sound it makes when it unravels.
So like this. So look, to give the lady listeners out there some clues. You think one thing about what it's like when guys are hanging out, and this is actually what it's like when guys are hanging out. It's just this: video games, probably some drinks, some miseries, some laughter, and this.
Yeah, and some
pretty much.
Late night stories from your
late night stories
from DJ Run Amok over here.
You guys ever jack off so much your hand gets stuck to your dick for a while?
Stuck? Leave it there. You don't wash afterwards. How
have you ever
viscous is your semen, man?
have you ever masturbated so much that you leave an imprint of your hand on your finger?
That's got a super grip.
There's like a tan line.
Damn, you should be getting rug burns, man.
It's purple. Your dick is purple.
Hey, you know what's interesting though? You could be in the shower and your hands and your fingers and your feet can get all pruny, but the dick never gets pruny.
Is it because it's naturally pruny? It's already pruny, right?
What? Cianan, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm trying not to laugh.
Cianan's dick is naturally. You heard it here first.
Oh God!
The None of Your Business podcast has done it again.
It was like, you mean you guys sticks aren't pruny?
You mean the dick isn't naturally pruny?
Oh God! Oh, my fucking abs are killing me. I don't have abs. Okay, I think we.
Got really quiet all of a sudden. As soon as I said it.
Oh God! Fuck! I guess not everyone can.
To answer your question, no. The dick isn't naturally pruny. I think you need to get that taken.
I need to see a doctor or something, guys. Can you take a look real quick just to make sure?
Consult your dermatologist immediately.
If the condition does not improve, Cianan.
It couldn't get any worse.
Oh God! Fuck. So
I have a Trump penis. I just figured out, according to my friends right over here,
through my scientific and anthropological research.
Jeez.
Oh, you're right, man. My abs hurt. That was painful.
Dude, I was trying not to laugh.
So that's what Thanksgiving was like at my place. It's like
oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Nice callback, dude. So they gave it a full feeling. They close out with that.
Man, Cianan.
So that's what Thanksgiving was like in my humble abode.
So you are a comedian.
Yeah, apparently.
He's like, yeah, it was all a joke.
Yeah, that's it.
Check real quick. Where's your bathroom again?
Them was just jokes.
Man, dude, I haven't laughed like that in a while.
That was some heavy shit.
The last time I laughed like that was when I heard my friends beatbox.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
I haven't seen Joe laugh like that in
it's been a while, man.
Dude, we all are tearing from the eyes right now.
That was pretty good.
We have our moments. Joe and I, you guys, I don't know what it was. I don't know. It was something. It just came naturally.
Yeah, that's not the first time you said that.
I leave myself open.
Leaving yourself open there.
That's how I learned. Instead of getting picked on, I just set myself up for whatever joke.
Oh man, that's just impossible, man.
I was very different when I was in high school, joking. attest to that. What I was like in junior high and high school before.
Very shy, very just like, you know.
Philly lost Philly again.
We lost Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all developed pretty well. You know.
Yeah.
We've definitely.
By no means should the listeners misconstrue that statement as us whipping it out and trying to see how we've developed.
You can't see what we're actually doing.
Oh God. Yeah. We stopped doing everything we were doing for a second there, dude. If we were driving, we may have crashed. Probably. It was that funny. Yeah. Do not podcast and drive. That's for sure.
Don't operate any heavy machinery.
No, not while podcasting.
No, not even video games can distract us from real human laughter.
And I like to reiterate the point that, you know, what I like about podcasting is that it's a conversation that people don't get to usually be a part of. You know, especially in a digital age like today where friendship is hard to come by, like good friendship. Like, we're good friends. And so the way that we can, as they say in Spanish, convivir, which means to live together, right? The way we live together while we're hanging out really illustrates like the kind of energy. What it is
the quality of the friendship.
Yeah, the quality of the friendship.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
I think that there are a lot of people out there who don't, believe it or not, there's like a statistic. There's like 1 in 4 people have no friends in America.
We started way before Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
YouTube.
So we actually, you know,
none of that was around, was it? At all? Not even
we
Google.
Have tangible friendships.
Man, we're old as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I would say this kind of friendship would gestate, something. It would really develop after 3 years. Once you know somebody after 3 years, maybe on the 4th year, is when you can get the real friendship going. And this will lead into our first conversation before the podcast and at the start of the podcast. I'm bringing it back one more time. The circle is now full circle.
It's the circle of life.
All right. What I was going to come to is the moment that Joe pounded my ass like a pair of bongos.
So. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, let me.
Whoa.
So what happened?
What happened was
what had happened, and then, you know, I just started.
First, we're good friends.
No, but that's the funny thing. Okay, we went to go see. We went to. What was it? Was it when we went? No, wait.
It was when we were working together and we were doing the construction project on your house.
Yeah. You were on your phone. You were looking for something.
I was installing lights at Joe's, and I was just like, okay. So all jokes aside, I'll say
I did pound his ass though.
The real story was that I was
played like a couple bongos.
I must have been. I was focused. Yeah, I was looking at my phone. Joe was right behind me. Took 2 pieces of wood. Like he had like small pieces of wood in his hand, and then he just slapped my ass cheeks with the wood back and forth, and I didn't say a damn thing.
He just continued to do what he was doing, and I was like, "This is a special friendship right here.
This is just business as usual." Keenan turned around, he was like, "Hey."
For this long, Joe, I didn't know.
He was like, "Stop it!
Quit playing."
You know, I usually silly. Oh man, that is a special friendship.
Yeah. Well, there's a meme that Joe posted a long time ago to me, and maybe to other people, saying that you're good friends when you can do some borderline gay shit, and it's just humorous, fun, heterosexual stuff. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing homoerotic. It's like, that's how you know you're really good friends. And there's some people like that. There's only about 3 or 4 people in my life where I can go as far as doing some stupid, silly shit like that, or saying something homoerotic, and somebody wouldn't get offensive. Sometimes you would be like, I remember joking about doing something homoerotic, you know, whatever it is, in front of this dude who I thought was part of our friendship inner circle. And he got really upset. Like, what the fuck are you saying? What the fuck are you talking? That's some gay shit, man. I was like, I'm just
and again
joke. Like, why would you
see? And those are the people. Yeah.
This leads back to what the conversation we were having on the last podcast about machismo.
Yeah.
All that bullshit.
Yeah.
That shit has
that comes from an insecurity.
To the side. It's your own personal sexual insecurities. Like it's your,
and they're afraid they might actually be gay.
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of.
And it was just verbal. If I said something verbally that was homoerotic but in a joking manner, and then you get offended by it and angry because you don't want to talk or joke about anything,
someone pushed the
uncomfortable with your sexuality. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't even want to give it a chance for me to be gay. Well, then you might actually be gay.
I go back and forth joking.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. Also,
no, there isn't. There isn't. But like all this, it's just ridiculous to me. To me, I feel it's ridiculous. This whole machismo thing, and you have to act as a man and do manly things to be manly things to be a man. Like
I thought being a man was paying bills. Like and
it's not even that. Done. It isn't even that. There's no such thing as being a man. That's ridiculous. Or to me, that's
you know what's crazy is there may not even be such a thing as being a man.
Probably not.
There may actually be such a thing as being a woman, because a woman's the only one that can create like a life.
But well, I mean, like being a woman or being a man. The being a man part, I think, is more about your
because that just reflects your character.
Well,
your character,
yeah,
right?
It's like what how you're supposed to act. So we technically can't say be a woman either, because that means you're supposed to act like a woman. The same way be a man, you're supposed to act like a man. So it's like,
so if we took it in the same way, then what we're saying is really there's only one thing to say is have some character.
Yeah. Don't be the classification of that box that you're supposed to be in as a man or a woman. That's why I'm actually way more attracted to women who don't act like a lot of times the way you're supposed to. Yeah. I mean, I don't want that.
Who have their own character. Their own personality. They don't adhere to gender specifications.
Play some sports, play some video games, watch some action movies.
I like to cook. I'll be cooking some crazy shit sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is actually I question myself sometimes. I'm looking at like my closet, how neat I am. Like I have a sense of style. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I sit there, you know, the girl I'm seeing, I'm like, yo, it's kind of weird. Now, like I'm not throwing her under the bus, but I'm a little even more organized than she is. Actually, than most women I've ever like been with. I'm more organized than they are.
You're talking
than
about
most women that just in general.
In general.
Yeah, well, see that this thing, I'm way more attracted to women who are more not aggressive, but more going after what they want. So if they like me and are attracted to me, they ask me out, which obviously would rarely happen, but not following those social norms of being a man and being a woman. Oh, the man has to ask the woman out. No, if you ask me out, I'll probably say yes way quick.
Yeah. That's why I kind of that's why I appreciate the type of relationship that Sonia and I have.
Oh, you name drop.
Well, it's a different situation.
Can we beep
it?
it?
No, because I don't care if I say Sonia. Say Sonia.
Now she comes out of the wall.
It's different with you guys because Sonia and I have been together for a long time.
For like 10 years plus, right?
Yeah. You're
damn near married, Joe. You're a married couple.
we're nearing 10 years, but no, but there's no. We don't play our roles, you know, like
although you might role play, you know what I mean?
What's with this fireman suit? I didn't know you volunteer on the weekends, Joe.
I didn't want to talk about it, but okay.
Sometimes I prune,
but you know, but we don't like. I don't expect her to cook, like. I don't expect for me to get home and my dinner to be ready and my fucking slippers to be set, my laundry to be done. I don't. And a matter of fact, I do my laundry because there's a specific way that I like to do my laundry. You know, and it's not to say that she can't do it, but I prefer to do it myself. No, she can. She's more than capable. She's actually a lot more. She's a lot more detailed than I am, for sure. And that's one of the arguments that we always have, that I don't give her enough detail, enough information. So that's one thing that I have to work on. But
so anyway, you're not perfect. That's okay. Yeah, you can argue about laundry.
You know, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy that has to like I said, that has to be home, get home and have my dinner ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and I don't expect her to do all the shit that that is generally thought of as what a woman or as a housewife should be doing. Like,
right. And is that ridiculous. Something that you spoke about, or you guys both knew?
No, we've never discussed it.
Okay.
This is just something that's naturally developed, and again, like Sonia isn't the type of woman that will have her makeup done every day and wear dresses.
Folks.
She doesn't. She says, I mean, it's true.
And she doesn't have to.
Yeah,
no one has to. No woman has to, and no man has to.
Ridiculous.
And it's true. Yeah, like no one has to constantly be on. It's exhausting. But if you want to be, that's different too. You know, like because you want to be.
And that must be an old school thing. Or I'm not sure. Old school, but I've been told by a lot of people. A lot of my family members are like, Keenan, you need to dress a certain way.
They want you to throw the aftershave on.
Well, I mean, like
traditional.
But yeah, I mean, I understand it's my grandfather, but he's every time, Keenan, you got to wear a suit. You got to wear a suit. You got to be clean. It's like there's people with full body tattoos at my work. Why do I need to wear a fucking suit to be this professional?
Yeah,
people coming in like in sandals and socks and all that weird shit. But
times are changing.
Not just him, but you know, a lot of some friends and family members, not you guys in particular, but the people that I know will critique me a lot.
Are you serious?
How to be a man or how to act, how to attract.
See, you know that shit irritates the shit.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I'll admit that like the girl I'm seeing, sometimes I feel like my mentor once told me that advice without permission is criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And I've found myself more than anyone that I know throwing advice left and right
to her.
Just in general to people, but definitely,
right?
yeah, we're cool. But what I'm saying is like I find that I do that a lot, you know, and it is tough. And like hearing your story makes me reflect on maybe how people might be feeling when I say.
When you give your advice, your advice is a little bit different in the philosophical sense, and not just like this is the way you
philosophical sense.
In the way you're a lot of the stuff. That's why I'm not.
We should have a segment that's called philosophical.
You should with a little hyphen. I'm making a poster.
Philosophical. We got we have sexcapades.
Philosophical.
We gotta write down. Or we're gonna
well, it's being recorded.
It's being recorded.
What's going on?
He's checking his pockets like, let me get my recorder out. No, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, it's trippy how a lot of them would give you the information advice, but it's very different on the way you deliver yours, what it's about, and how it covers. Because a lot of times you give me advice pretty much every 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And on a very frequent basis, but I actually come back for more. I always want to hang out. Most of the time I come back.
Yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen.
Every 5 minutes, and I keep on coming back for more. May not last a long time, but it's that good.
My guy is hungry.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that it's very different. It's not what you make.
It's not. It doesn't sound condescending when I say it.
Depending on, I don't think you've ever gave me advice in a sense of like, you know, this is how a man is supposed to do in this situation. This
no, yeah, I never do that.
And in the end, you're always like, Keenan, just do you. Just be yourself, or just be how you are. Don't even have to listen to everything I just told you. Just do your own thing. You always mostly cancel out
I try
to at the end of it, and then it gives me an opportunity to
consider whether or not.
Think about it, go back and forth, judge, make associations.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm starting to grow concerned.
You don't have to be concerned, but you can still be cautious, because if you do give out way too much information philosophy, then that's all we see you as, is the Mr. Philosopher.
That's true.
You should talk about tits and cars and stuff like that. Mix it up a little bit.
Talk about tits and cars.
But yeah. Tits and cars. Why?
Why does it have to be tits and cars?
Because you're a man, Philly.
Why can't he be talking about cooking or?
Oh, I was gonna say video games, but I thought that
because I have always wanted to make a souffle. It's one of those things. You know what I mean?
Have you?
No. I haven't.
Well, I mean, like just anything.
Be very specific.
Anything off the norm. Like I guess one of the reasons why I say tits and ass, besides being a man, is that we've had conversations about tits and ass. I mean, just complete opposite of the metaphysical stuff. Unless you can relate somehow tits and cars to metaphysical and philosophical
Yeah,
things.
I do get pretty metaphysical.
So I don't know. I just think,
and there's nothing wrong with tits and ass because after watching Bridesmaids, I learned that women have some interesting conversations about dick and balls.
they do,
and abs.
and that's why I love Broad City. Everybody out there,
Broad City
watch
also.
Broad City.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
one of the greatest 2 female lead shows out there.
Absolutely.
Directed by a female, I forgot her name, and written. It has a male writer in there too, and all of them were also on Girls Trip with Scarlett Johansson, which is crazy because Scarlett Johansson was actually really funny.
Oh, was she?
Super
Really?
funny.
I need to see that because Scarlett Johansson, ScarJo.
ScarJo.
Joe's like, I don't approve.
No. Let's bring her in. Scarlett Johansson, please. Would you come through the door?
Oh, don't even play me. My whole heart rate just jumped by 10 points. That's not the only thing. You know what I'm saying?
So what would it be for you? I mean, we mentioned Scarlett Johansson, but for me, it's Selma Hayek, obviously.
Oh, well.
Selma Hayek. And if anybody's out there who's Community fans, Alison Brie. And I know people who met Alison Brie in person. They're like,
so you're like degrees removed.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm like,
she goes out with a guy that looks just like me, right?
That's true. Ooh, what if she mistaken him for you? And
I would say nothing. I would just nod my head.
I'm him. Yeah.
And I would cook the food.
Where we going, babe?
And then I deeply apologize to Mr. Franco for looking so much like him and saying, "Hey, man, sorry." But we should hang out sometime too.
Yeah. Well, who would it be for Joe?
Sonia.
Of course.
Only Sonia.
So if you weren't Joe and she wasn't Sonia, what would that be?
I bet you if Sonia was here, she would answer man right away.
She would already know. She wants the dude from what's that one show? He's like bald Latino.
She likes like
old men.
She likes skinny
black guys.
No, she likes. She likes
black guys. Keenan is still waiting for his chance.
She likes thin, bald Dominican dudes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Fabulous.
No, like I don't know, like
Dominicanos.
I wouldn't be able to say it.
Well, is it fair to say that she can pick out a dude right away, but you're not allowed to pick out a woman right away?
Well, no.
But come on, I'm kidding.
Out of respect, I can see.
But
if you're in the same room with her, would she say a man?
The right answer is always her name first, though.
Of course. Yeah,
that's what he was doing.
Someone like I don't know.
We all know Sonia's number one, so.
I've seen Joe have a few throughout the years.
10? Who's the number 10 on the list?
Number 10 on the list.
Number 10. So that's 10 behind Sonia. All right, Sonia.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say
Keenan likes you too. Maybe a little too much. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Actually,
mid-beer, I almost put that out.
There's a funny story about me and Sonia with Joe at a club. Joe remembers.
About dancing?
Yeah, when Sonia ride me like a sea biscuit.
Oh God!
Ride me like I'm sea biscuit.
This is getting awkward.
She pulled my hair.
What? There was something that happened
at the club
at that night.
She was dancing.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. No. It's I had a couple friends that also came and they wanted to get in a fight with someone. It was like a dude there after you that was trying to dance with Sonia, and one of my friends was like, "Yo, we're gonna get." He's like, "Let's fuck him up."
They wanted to. I remember that. I remember that. You're very cool with that. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I want to be. I want to be like Joe a lot and have a relationship like Joe and Sonia have.
He's confident.
Where I could be in a club and my wife or girlfriend or whatever is hardcore grinding on some dude, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's totally cool.
I mean, she's not gonna go home with them. They're not gonna have sex.
Yeah,
it took me a long time to get to that place myself. Okay,
it's ridiculous. And if she does, fuck it.
That's all. Yeah, like
I'll be done with it. Like
because they had what he's saying is it's kind of like the same idea with a guy being afraid of like gay stuff and then going, oh, that's gay. It's like, look, the truth will set you free. If that's really what wants to be happening from a person, then that's what's going to happen. You know?
If that's her truth, if she's going to do that, if
that's her truth,
if that activity is going to lead to to getting in bed with this individual, then why do I want to be a part of that?
Right.
So I have to have the confidence that she's not going to take it past what that is, which is just fucking dancing.
It is just dancing.
You know?
Yeah.
And if she takes it further than that, then we don't need to be together.
And I think the reason why I agree with both of you is that I see that what Philly sees is that some of the guys, because some of the dances could be a little not risque, but very
right?
physical.
Look at salsa, like damn.
And that brings me to my past girlfriend was that she loved salsa dancing, and I would take her to salsa.
That's crazy, man.
And I was in the bathroom once, and I heard all these guys talking about how they're gonna hook up with all these girls and how hot they are, and the very machismo kind of thing.
Yeah, they think they're gonna hook up.
and the weird thing is, my girl at the time guys didn't think like that at a salsa club. I was like, yeah, they do. It's still it's still a thing, but
that's pretty naive.
But I still I still did what I'm proud of doing. That kind of reminded me of Joe, is that I told her, she saw some guy dance like professional. So I pulled the guy over and I was like, hey, my girl wants to dance to you because you sound, you dance for, and they did all the crazy.
You were proactive. You were proactive. You were like, you know what?
Because she was hesitant, and I was like, no, go do it. And I was like,
that's because you're a boss.
I think she was concerned about me being okay. And I, to be honest, a little bit I wasn't, but I had to do it to get over
Keenan,
that.
you grew. And see, like that just shows your character. And it's true. It's true. Like it took me a long time. I remember so many opportunities when I was younger that like I could have grown as a person, but the girl I was with at the time or whatever would like straight up in front of me just hold a guy's hand, like who she's known for a long time, and like he's clearly trying to make a move, but you have to be able to trust and know that number one, she met him a long time ago before you. She knows him in some way, but like Joe said, like, is that really what you're worried about?
Right.
You know what I mean? And the other thing is, like, when I once broke up, I want to say like before I moved to New York, there was a girl I was with and we ended up breaking up or whatever. And I was really
She's single?
I was sad. Yeah. I was depressed by her for like a little bit. I was like, God damn, like I just can't seem to hold it down, but I asked some dude for advice and he gave me some interesting. He said, number one, you can't keep someone just because you love them. Like you'd have to tie them to the bed. And then at that point, it's not love. It's possession. It's like you're possessive. And he said, it's not healthy. If someone wants to go, let them go. Cause you got to know what you bring to the table. He said, I'm not worried. He said, in my past, the guy told me I set up the girl I was with the guy who I thought something was going to happen with. Just let them go on a date. Let's see what happens. Because you know what? If you truly love someone, you would be happy for them to go do that then, because now they're happy. If you really love someone, because he said, I know I would make a kick-ass dad, a kick-ass husband. I know who I am. And so it's important that you understand who you are. And that's really where all this is stemming from, is an insecurity. Is it wrong? Should the woman consider maybe what that might make you look like, feel like around others? And does it matter what others care? There's a lot of dynamics at play here, but I think at the end of the day, as long as you know where you are, if she makes those moves, that's where she wants to go, then the truth is known. Yeah. But at the same time, if she doesn't and she goes, no, I'm with someone, and then that says something about her.
That's cool. That's super awesome. Then does that work both ways, what we're talking about? Would your girlfriends or whatever be like, oh yeah, that's my husband grinding up on some woman in the club, it's okay because they're not going to go?
I think it depends on what the scenario is. As far as Sonya and I are concerned, I think I might be a little more lax than she would be.
Yeah.
But to double back on
go ahead.
I don't care. But to double back on what you were saying, Phil, about a girl that you were dating holding another dude's hand when you know the other guy's intent, and he's not a stranger, that's where I would have an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I would definitely have an issue with that. If this is a dude that she already knows, and everyone's aware that there was intent for this guy to have some type of relation with the girl that you're currently dating, and they were holding hands, that's an issue for me.
Okay.
Because
the intent is clear. The intent is clear.
Yeah, and it's not a stranger.
And those were two different girls, by the way. But the intent is clear.
Because it's not a stranger.
Yeah.
Because if it's a stranger, I know that, they're fucking dancing. And this dude might have intentions to fuck, but I know that she's not going to give this dude the time of day because she doesn't fucking know him.
Yeah. Right. But if she
As opposed to a guy that she knows, and then this guy has already tried, and they're holding hands, like she's holding his hand, like she might be innocent of it and not really think much of it. But the guy definitely doesn't.
Yeah, that's a clear signal for Yeah.
You know,
even if it's not for a guy,
I would have a problem with that.
Okay.
I would definitely have a problem with that.
So I can't hold Sonia's hand for
You're different because she sees you more as a son.
Yeah, I'm very immature. I'm like a kid. She takes care of you and me.
She sees you like one of our little ones.
Yeah.
Prune and all.
When I say little, that's not an understatement.
Oh, God.
Even though you got a big ass dick. Got a big ass dick. Got a big ass dick.
Can't you just hear it in his voice?
Got a big ass dick.
I don't know how you guys do that.
Keenan, you still haven't blessed us with your deep voice. And you you almost did it for a little bit. And
I had a few.
You pulled the skin back, you know, but then
he's getting it.
I'm trying to get in that real groove, you know? Yeah.
Like I said, it's kind of like a yawn. You just kind of got to get it in. Yeah. And in fact, as they say in singing lessons, if you want to go lower, actually go higher in your thinking.
My thinking?
In your thinking.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. So damn, we went in because we stopped playing games. That's how serious we got about our conversation for a second.
We did start off with some laughter to get that going.
That was hilarious, though. I will say it's been a while since I laughed that hard.
It was a good moment. That's what I'm here for. Always good time with Cianan Duncan, right?
Always good time with Cianan.
And again, like, you know, somebody's gonna listen to this and go, they have no business talking. Well, that's why the show is called
None of Our Business.
None of Our Business.
I like it. I like that title. I love that title. I can't wait to make a poster for you guys. I'm gonna make like 5 posters. And then see which one you guys like, and I was just gonna post them,
and then put them in a video, and then intermittently, without us knowing, splice like dick pics in between it, kind of like Fight Club did. Yeah. So when we watch it, we go, I don't know why, but this seems kind of like I don't know. I'm thinking of penis. You know what I mean?
I don't know why, but I just want to see a big ass dick.
Make them veiny too.
I don't know why this show reminds me of penis.
Don't make them.
Just reminds me of fat ass dick.
Oh God,
just dicks all over the place.
Oh God,
why are dicks on my mind?
Dicks on my mind.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah, man.
No.
Did you want to try and get back in the game? I don't even know whose turn it was.
You know what it is? We haven't taken the time to create our characters, so it's like at this point we're just playing with whatever.
Were you trying to? Oh, fit.
You okay, Keenan?
I don't know, mate. Okay, anybody out there who's a doctor, it's not about my penis, but my tooth was tingling. Just the one tooth. It was tingling.
That's usually the first sign of. Never mind.
He's like, I don't know why my mouth was.
First you're talking about dicks.
My teeth were just tingling after a conversation about penis.
I don't even know why.
Your spider senses were tingling.
That's where the penis is spliced into the video. Like, oh goodness. My tooth just vibrated.
It wants to remove itself to make more room.
Oh, God. He was like, I removed both my jaw and my ribs.
Oh, God.
I have the ability to dislocate my jaw.
I was inspired by the movie Anaconda.
This would be super sad if you didn't press record on this in the beginning.
It's fucking great. I was inspired by the movie Anaconda
with J-Lo.
That's great.
Man.
That's great.
Oh my God. Are you gonna have a female guest on their show?
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah. That would be dope.
Would it be the same? Would it feel the same? Would it have the same?
Well, yeah, I think
Why
so.
not? We're not gonna act any differently.
We need a woman to weigh in on the issues of sexcapades and philosophy and whatever else we talk about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Holiday, the holidays.
Who do you think about? Who are you thinking about bringing?
Who do I think about when I what?
Oh, when you're thinking about bringing in.
No one is specific, you know.
I would
no
say,
one comes to mind.
I would recommend. Someone,
let's not say any names. So
no. Someone who is as close as.
They definitely have to be someone close to us, just because of the nature of the conversation.
But I wouldn't think family member. I would think like an actual someone who really is separate from your genealogy who can
What are you trying to say, Keenan?
You're basically saying Melissa cannot be on this show.
If you're listening to this, it was
even though I
Keenan.
feel like Melissa would vibe really well.
She probably talked mad shit. Yeah,
she definitely.
She's a tough one.
Yeah,
she's a tough cookie, and yet also at the same time quite capable of creating a very nice ambiance.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah.
She's a crazy bitch.
That's how they get along, by the way. So, just in case you're wondering how I can just talk about her like that.
Yeah.
You know what? There are. Who have I had?
Thinking, like somebody who has the kind of laughter and fun that or maybe this is just a rarity that having me here to have this.
I'm sure.
No, I mean I have a great time with women all the time.
Are you always gonna have a guest?
As I listen to myself talk, I wonder how others can ever stand me. This is just the truth. I'm just like, what did I just say?
The truth is
that?
we can't feel it.
Oh God, we're having this isn't a podcast. It's an intervention.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to like a time I've had like a conversation where I was deeply, profoundly impacted. Where I was like, wow, from just anybody in general that I like to bring on. But I'm so full of shit and so full of myself that it's hard for me to think of like people outside of like the people we may know.
What would you guys do if like fucking Obama came in? How would you guys be the same from like fucking Obama?
The first thing I'd like to say is that we as Americans
would you
have to change.
That's good, Phil.
Would we hold ourselves back in front of you, Obama, or should we be like our true selves?
No, look, if I had to...
Wait, you're supposed to be Obama. I thought you were... I was going to play along, Philly. Never mind, forget it. No, real question, though. I mean, would you... If you had some...
I don't know, Keenan. You and my grandson, Morty, are like... You guys are like little bitches.
Be nice.
Hey, bitches are strong.
Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh,
I can't do that. That's pretty good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Adult Swim Festival was shit, and
it was trash, man.
It was super bad.
Was it?
And it was like, why did you spend all this money you spent
I'm almost glad I didn't go then.
Well, it's okay for like to see it.
I had the ticket. Saw it. The homie gave us, got me a ticket.
And we're not alone. I met people that were there at the same day we were. Said it was crap.
Yeah, it was.
They left. They left at almost the same time we did.
This beer we're drinking is like LaCroix, but with alcohol.
Yeah.
It's taking me a long time to drink it down now.
Hey, do you want some of your Fireball?
Yes, please, ladies and gentlemen. I brought some Fireball. This podcast is brought to you by
gentlemen,
Fireball.
It's 2012 again. Oh, people are still drinking Fireball?
I know. Well, they didn't have the Jack Fire available. I didn't see it.
I will not be participating, but I do understand the feelings behind.
Well, the idea is, I only a little. I bought the.
Keenan was like, "I bought a small one for me, fool."
Yeah, of course.
You're inviting your damn self.
Oh, and I got some ice cream.
Oh, you did.
I did. Can you have me? Can you toss me ice cream?
Sure,
please.
Okay.
Joe's leaving for a bit, but
we've got about an hour and 37 minutes.
Oh, how long can this record? Are you allowed to? 2 hours is your max?
We got about.
Ah, shoot. It was that. Damn it. Hey,
that's not the only
We
thing.
shouldn't have laughed for so long. My bad. I'm sorry, guys, for being funny.
No. No, usually the episodes go around this time.
Yeah, well, the last two were like an hour.
We just so I'm clear, we are not apologetic on this show.
Oh, to anybody?
There's no
even though we apologize to women, homosexuals, the gay community.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, no, what it means is like, look, this is he's about to give you the hot sauce. That is not for Keenan, definitely. Okay, so Keenan, one time we went to get tacos and you asked me if there was a non-spicy salsa at the taco place.
Hilarious.
And I asked the guy behind the counter.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me and threw his arms up like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
Why are you even eating salsa then? You know?
Yeah, why did you bring this gringo into our place?
And I was kind of like, well, don't be a dick, man. But okay. Yeah, you got a point.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that was good. And by the way, this place is right next to a really popular strip club that I've never been to yet. That's a brothel? You can have sex there?
Showgirls is a brothel?
Wait, you can have sex there?
Basic? It's
what's basic?
Right there on Sunset and La Brea?
What?
We're talking about Tacos de Gavilan.
Well,
She was like, "Oh,
can you text me the name of this other place?"
Oh,
wait,
no.
There's a place by your crib.
Dude, Joe, we shouldn't be having this conversation on the podcast.
I'm super single, man. You should be helping me out. See, this is why we can't be friends.
Keenan is Korean, so it's like 한국어를 하실 수 있습니까? 네.
All I know is how white man. That's about it.
How white man? That is not Korean. Who told you that was Korean, Keenan? Who told
movie.
you? No. Although if you do,
this fireball is fiery and tasty. Ooh, it's like Christmas.
Fire.
Christmas came early for Keenan. In and around his
Christmas came as early as it was gonna come.
See, I can't get it that
sometimes
you
I
have
come
been
early.
Classically trained at the great state university of Uni High.
Of Uni.
A high school named University.
Yeah. But I was gonna. The one thing I was hoping to touch on real quick was about the way we were back in the day. It was quick, and then we kind of moved on. So I was like, I don't remember what Philly was and was like back in high school, back in junior high, because we officially met.
Troubled.
He was troubled. We officially
troubled.
Officially met. Like, how did we actually cross?
I mean, even though we've known, but like we didn't really hang out, Keenan. You and I. I mean, you and Joe have, forever. But like, even though I had met you years ago or whatever, like we didn't really hang out until
we didn't get to the ass paddling.
I was already. We were full blown adults by then.
Yeah, it's been
5-6 years maybe.
Yeah,
5 or 6 years.
that you started hanging out with Phil. Yeah.
Probably. And I kind of question what would it be like if we did know each other. And I was here during my.
I haven't changed dramatically in terms of like philosophy and reading and such. But what has changed about me is I've calmed down a little. I'm not as arrogant as I used to be, because I was pretty arrogant, But that naivete comes with youth for most people.
And I've seen Joe change, like drastically.
Go ahead and say it, Ken.
Mad crazy. Like I'm not sure if I brought it up in the past or recently or something, but I remember just looking at you like, man, you are
not the same.
I don't know, this golden god that has that has been,
go on, Keenan. Just start unzipping. Just start unzipping his pants and just start chugging. Start chugging the golden moose.
Wrinkled penis in my mouth. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, in high school, Joe's persona was such that he seemed untouchable?
I think Maury seems untouchable now. In high school, he was. I mean, you weren't you prom king?
I was prom prince.
Oh, you were. Damn, I don't know why I thought you were prom king.
No, I lost.
Because he was your prom king.
You're my prom king. I think
there were politics. There were politics.
But Joe
involved.
Joe was the man.
He was pretty popular.
It's so funny to know that I knew this guy since 6th grade, and we were like our clique. Then high school comes. I go off into my own cave. Joe's like on a pedestal.
Yeah, happens to everyone.
With like Greek goddesses around him, feeding him grapes and fanning him off. But it was crazy because how he brought me into the theater scene, a theater crew and his theater group. Like, Keenan, come hang out with us. Why are you hanging out by yourself in the classroom? Just hang out with us. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing Joe in a totally different light. Like, holy shit. This dude is like,
just came along from X-Men cards.
Yeah, he owns the campus. I'm trying to think of who else was at the top of the game at Uni High.
He's gassing me up, ladies and gentlemen.
Besides Joe, and Joe was the top tier. He was the final boss.
It's all relative, though, right, Keenan? I mean, it's relative, right here. Correct, Keenan. Play. It's relative because when I went to high school, everybody just thought I was Joe. They were like, "What the hell?
Really?
Joe's back." Yeah, but mostly because I was doing a lot of the same activities. I was in the theater class. Most of the teachers know our last name.
Oh, you weren't doing a lot of the same activities.
But what I will say is, I actually struggled in high school, even though everybody knew me. Everybody knew me. I hung out with all the bad kids.
I took algebra 3 times.
Yeah, so did I. But
and I'm an engineer, ladies and gentlemen.
That's because I didn't go to school ever, dude. Like I was just busy getting drunk and high.
Damn, what does that say about me? I was in class every day, and I still failed it twice.
Well, the other thing is, you might have been bored, Keenan. There is such a thing as like number one, it's not so much that it's a failure of a teacher or a failure of a student, but the material may be presented in a fashion that's too poor. The classes may be overcrowded.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors involved in a public school. Like if the setting isn't right, you're not in the mood to learn because you didn't eat breakfast. There's so many challenges that both the students and teachers face.
There's so many elements. Yeah, I agree.
Which is why I feel so fortunate that right before starting high school, I discovered that I could teach myself by reading, because that changed everything. I didn't rely on school to teach me anything.
What did I just do?
You just did a power, and you did a super.
But I didn't press the R2.
But you might have done the other way, which because it's just three. R2 is just 3 buttons, anyways, and 1. So you might have just pushed the 3 buttons you needed to press.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, am I gonna get a?
By the way, we're back on Soul Calibur.
You got a perfect.
Joe gave me a perfect.
Joe, please.
I didn't even notice it.
I was so close. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden God has graced me with his ability to let me get a perfect score in a video game that's really awesome.
You know what it is? You know what it is that we've moved on. That's what it sounds like from the topic. But public education definitely is a place where people discover themselves, because
I really like it. I
love
enjoyed education in general. Last year of high school, I was all about just learning shit, anything and everything. That's why I was in college for about 10 years. And then took city college and all that shit.
I honestly believe that 9th grade should be an experimental entrance experience where the kids are allowed to take any classes they want, however many classes they want, and fill their day the way they want. And then 10th, 11th, and 12th is where you have to go hard, and because now you've understood why you want to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I honestly feel that 9th grade should be treated that way.
Yeah.
Because it would encourage the kids to then have that experience and feel like, you know what, I can learn. Because
it's my choice. It's the choice.
Because right away you're going to be fighting kids who are like, who are you? Why should I learn from you? Why should I learn at all? How is this going to relate to my life in general? Because they come from troubled homes that don't encourage education for the most part. Because parents are at work and they don't have the time or the energy to think.
Right.
And I think it's worth experimenting that way. But I mean, good luck getting LAU. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic, but LAUSD and a lot of other school curriculums are still teaching people how to be an employee for the Great Depression.
Yeah.
For factories.
Here's the thing, like for the longest time, I felt like public schools weren't great, and then years later, as a father, I put my son into a private school. And we pay money. Yeah, we pay money for this.
I didn't know he was.
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
We're paying for his education, and I don't really feel that there's a lot of progress at all.
Okay.
Then we put him in a public school,
totally,
and then it's like night and day.
Really?
Immediately he becomes more assertive.
Okay.
He learns to read a lot faster. It just completely changed.
Huh.
And it's because he went to a public school. Now, granted, we did research into as far as what public school we're going to put him into. But it was definitely a better school than
it was an environment
he was actually going, but we were actually literally wasting our money.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me. So I give it up to public schools for sure. Like I've known it forever that we need to support public schools a lot more.
That's true. But it's the same thing like colleges. Like if you go, I went to San Francisco State, and then down south is Stanford, and then you have Berkeley on the other side of the bay, and it's just like the curriculum is supposed to be technically the same, at least for the engineering department. 2 + 2 is 4, and all this other crap. Everything. The math and the physics and all that stuff, it might be different for art, maybe history, whatever. But a lot of the elements in public schools, private schools, state universities, full-on private universities, they're all supposed to be the same curriculum. I really don't understand what you benefit. You're not really supposed to be getting unknown knowledge in these private schools compared to the public ones. It should be the same stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's the access to the social groups. I know a lot of like wealthy parents, you know, I've had the fortune of being involved with a lot of the people in Jewish communities, whether it's like traditional Jewish communities or even more lax and Americanized Jewish communities. And it really is about like who your kids are going to be friends with, because it does affect in some way, you know, what friendships they have. But at the end of the day, yeah, public schools are fucking amazing, man. Like,
yeah,
they really, teachers try, man. And still, even them being as amazing as they are, like the teachers put money from their own pockets and their own time into teaching these kids.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, exactly. I know that Gav's teacher, his first teacher, was what did a lot of stuff out of her own pocket to help these kids develop.
Yeah, the public school's not going to fund, you know, the money for the resources, unless that's government stuff. That's government funded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Public schools.
Yes, public schools.
Yeah,
state funded.
But at least they'll get a gun, right? Maybe they can sell that for some money.
You know, I heard a rumor that LAUSD forces the school departments, I mean any school, to, instead of being able to go to Office Depot and buy like printing paper for like $5.65 for like 100 pages, it forces them to go through LAUSD chosen vendors, like, you know, white label, like back end vendors, and like to go through them and pay like $100+
so it goes
for
back
like
to the school.
Not only that, but like more money, instead of paying only $5.65 for what they needed, so much more money goes into, like, you know what I mean? Like, and so that's why the budgets are all out of whack, and like the bonuses are the way they are, and it's just bad, man. Like, if that is true, it's unfair, because that means that the money just gets funded back,
circled,
into the super management's budget, bonus checks and shit. And that's not right, because that's coming out of the kids.
Yeah, and isn't there something else? Is charter schools are the same thing, right? They're not public. They're kind of like a hybrid, right?
Oh yeah, one of my friends, she's a professor, or a teacher at a charter school, and like it's like high school kids, and it's insane with these kids. Like they really want to learn, man. But I think it's paid, right?
It says somewhat paid, but it's also somewhat public.
Some of them,
I don't know how, it's weird. They did a really good special on John Oliver's last week tonight about it. It was really crazy about
I like John Oliver's show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. If you stop going to school, you can easily learn about world history and world politics and U.S. history and U.S. politics through that show and watching reruns of The Daily Show or the Stephen Colbert Colbert Report. All those do it. And that's why I think it's great what we were talking about earlier, Joe. I was talking about to Philly about Assassin's Creed Origins and the special gameplay they have that's called a tour. Tour, Universal Tour in the game. And what it does is that you play one of the characters in the game and you walk around Egypt and you go through these guided tours that have these little icons. And when you get to the icon, it'll tell you.
It'll give you history of it. Yeah. I remember seeing something about it on IGN. Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
The game, and
it gives you like little historical facts of like specific areas. Yeah.
They should have totally did that with the one in the U.S., the one in London, the one everywhere. They should do that for all Assassin's Creed games.
Well, in retrospect, yeah.
I mean, look at what Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventures have done for them. I mean, their test grades went way up the minute they went and actually met Socrates and Abraham and all. Just any interactive learning experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Philly's making jokes.
but it is true. I think the biggest problem with our education today is that there's usually a lack of mass with the things that they're learning.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, and they teach theory instead of teaching to the problem, which I'm not the first to say this. Even Elon Musk says this: teach to the problem, not the theory. You know, like history is taught. Like these are the people, these are the years. This is what happened. As opposed to currently, we have a problem with, let's say, sexism. Now let's review history and see if we can find correlations throughout history that can teach to the problem. You see what I'm saying? But we don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest challenge. We don't teach to the problem. Number one, and there's lack of mass. You'll learn about certain things, technologies, whatever, but it's not in your hands, and that's like due to budget constraints or.
Well, how do we get people interested? How do we get you interested in the science behind toilet paper? You know what I mean? Like, how do we get people interested in stuff? Like, not everybody's going to be into the same thing, right?
And that's why we shouldn't. I mean, yeah, general education is important, but that's why I feel that it's important that ninth grade should be allowed to be an experimental year, because it's a year that they can afford. They can't afford senior year and junior year because that's when the mind is already matured and there are things that they need to do. But ninth grade is a completely expendable year. It's a year that should be allowed for experimentation. In fact, it would make kids excited to go to school.
Yeah.
Because they're taking the classes. When I first got there, I couldn't even take the elective I wanted, but they were like, all the electives are filled. So we're going to place you in environmental science.
And seniors get first pick.
So there I was in environmental science, learning about Henry David Thoreau. You know what I mean?
Well, they should have made environmental science interesting. They should have made the curriculum of that class something that was maybe project based or god damn, dude.
So
shit.
That was dope.
You guys chose the same characters, huh?
Yeah.
I just wanted to test it out, like see who's like good at whatever. But it didn't do much.
Yeah, I can tell. This is kind of cool though. This has been an interesting podcast, but I think we're nearing the end of our allotted time.
It is. Yeah.
Also, the game's getting pretty heavy.
Yeah, Joe,
we're pretty sauced up.
Joe got me and broke my thing.
Baby, you got me.
That's something that should be just maybe a main topic for this time, is how to get people interested in a subject that's supposed to be universal knowledge.
I see what you're saying. And in a world that is becoming ever more specialized, is general knowledge really that important? I mean, beyond the ability to what we should teach as far as general education is like how somebody should learn, how somebody can get more information. But beyond that, I don't think there's any more necessity beyond the general. This is how you can learn if you want to learn. Here's some rudimentary math, some rudimentary science, and some rudimentary English, because we're in America. And if you don't speak English in America and you don't speak American, you can get the hell out of America.
You get the hell out of here. How about that? What that, you fucking asshole?
Do you speak American?
No.
But beyond teaching someone how to learn and how to get more information, I don't think it should go anything further than that, because people have curiosities and interests. And if we did that, especially with the way the world is turning today, maybe this information and this statement wouldn't apply to a world of yesterday, because yesterday was different.
Right.
But the world of today really does require to allow curiosities to unfold and for passions to be focused. It does. But more importantly, as someone who's been freelancing for a while, what I've learned is really what you're looking for in this world is work you don't mind doing, not the work you're passionate about, because that may not actually be something someone wants to pay you for.
Right.
But if you want to make a living and you want to do it in a way that might make you a little happier than most and happier than the standard, just look for work that you don't mind doing. Because that's different. It's a psychological fascination for me. Whenever you're at a loss for like, what should I do with my life? Instead, ask yourself, what should I not do with my life?
Right.
Like, if you want to find out how can I be my own boss and you don't have an answer, then go ahead and just do deduction instead of induction and go, how will I not become my own boss? By staying in, I'm definitely not gonna, like, by staying asleep longer than most people, I'm definitely not gonna become my own boss, right? So you start to deduce. And so what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you should be paying attention when Philip is talking now.
And on that, we leave it. Thank you so much, you guys, for letting me be on your podcast. We had some laughs, we had some cries, some tears, some
tears of happiness.
Tears of happiness.
I have tears on my dick. Wait, what?
Pruny ass.
Oh my god! Please send me a recording of this.
Of course, absolutely.
I want this on file at my home so I can re-listen to it or send it to my brother, my mother. They'll get a love kick out of what just
about
happened.
listening to talk about dicks.
We're gonna make it distributed across international platforms. So,
but this was awesome. This was shit. I don't know how to describe how great of a time this was.
It really was something else.
Crazy, but thank you so much. I know you guys gotta cut off your podcast.
No, we don't. See, that's the thing.
You don't?
We can make our own decisions. Do whatever we want when we want to do.
We were shooting for 2 hours. But you don't have to say
it's like 3 hours, right?
We're at 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. I just didn't want to be like, oh, we've spoke for like 5 hours straight. Now we just can't use any of it.
No.
And the beauty of the podcast is you can stop, press pause, come back to the app later, and just press play again.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to listen to it straight through.
I thought this was like we're trying to get into the groove,
especially with the West Coast commute. The West Coast commutes are crazy.
Yeah.
So if you have
a 5 hour podcast,
yeah, so you want to have some good friends on your side.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
This will be a great thing for the road trip.
We're a friend of the community.
Of all
Black,
communities,
brown, Asian,
LGBT,
white,
LGBTQ, ABC, XYZ,
XYZ.
Yeah,
all of those.
We're all over the place, and we love everybody. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll hit you next week,
and we'll be talking about things we have no business talking about.
And I won't be here, but I'll be here whenever you invite me.
You said that pretty sad, King. Don't say it like that.
Let me come back on your Christmas special.
Thanks for tuning in to
None of Our Business. That's supposed to be a DJ scratch. Keenan, was that really your sound effect?
No, he said.
I yawned. I was yawning
with your butt in the air.
With his ass in there.
God, we're a con.
All right, we're out.